mic, bro. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa! You can't sit like this. Oh my god. He's so silly. No, no, no! Don't lick the mic. He's licking the mic. My baby. Every Saturday, I do a weekly reflection. I listened to this podcast with Mo Gawdat on it, and he had a simple formula for happiness. And I loved it so much that I stole it and incorporated it into my Saturday ritual. It's been so long that I listened to the episode that I might have added my own twist to this. So if you want to hear his exact formula, then feel free to check out that episode. The formula to happiness is actually very simple. Do more of what you enjoy and do less of what you don't enjoy. So I look for the moments that brought me happiness, positivity, energy, like good energy, and just where I felt like the highest version of myself. And then there's the opposite of that where I wasn't happy. I want to reframe that because I'm not essentially unhappy. I think happiness is a choice that you can choose in any moment, but more so the things that don't align with who I am as a person, or I didn't feel connected to my highest self in those moments, or I was performing things that didn't align with that version of myself. He does it for the entire Saturday, I think like up to 8 hours. I just take 30 minutes to reflect and do this. So it's a lot easier to incorporate into my routine and still get all my goals done. I'm going to share my personal reflection with you guys, but I want to first talk about why it's so important to incorporate this into your routine, or at least why I think it is, as I've been doing it for 4 months now. There is so much energy that we carry throughout the week. I think reflecting weekly is such a good time to let go of what happened during that week so you don't carry it on into your future actions or your future behaviors or your future thoughts. All thoughts that you have are not your own. They're just passing by in your mind. And if you take thoughts or something that happened and hold it in you, that's when you start to feel very compressed and like tight inside because you're still holding on to things instead of taking a situation for what it is, looking for the facts in that situation, how you felt in that situation, and then letting it go, releasing it. That's something that I have found so helpful in my life with having peace in every moment now, because I'm able to see things for what they are, not take it personally, and then let it go. I'm not living in the past. And I think that's really important because to be present is to not live in the past, to not live in the future, just live in this moment as it is, as we are right now. People always tell me you're so calm and grounded, and it's because of this practice that I have. And that's who I want to embody, as someone who is at peace with life. I'm not chasing anything in life. Peace to me is being happy in the current moment. I think being at peace is such a beautiful feeling that I hope everyone gets to feel in their lifetime. It does take work to get to that point because, like I said, you have to release the things that you're holding on to, that your body is holding on to, your mind is holding on to. You need to like empty the garage. I'm not sure if I've talked about this before, but I really like Joe Rogan's example of your mind is a garage and you need to compartmentalize the certain areas of your life into neat little sections of the garage and throw away the things that don't serve you anymore. Don't keep a cluttered garage. This weekly practice of mine is me taking the things, organizing my mind into, these are things that made me happy. I'm going to keep them. I'm going to keep doing those things so I can keep feeling good. The things that I didn't feel that good about, I'm going to throw away. I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to think about it anymore. I'm not going to do those things anymore. I'm just going to focus on the things that make me happy. It's a simple formula when you think about it. Just do more what makes you happy. This week is also the start of a new year for the Lunar New Year. It's the Fire Horse year. I feel like there is this energy in the air that is just so powerful right now. It can be intense. Again, this is why I think this practice is important, because there's so much happening in my life right now, and I think my friends' lives too. Like, we've been building up to this moment. All the work that we've put in over the past years, I think, are finally going to reap in. Really, Coda? Just ignore him. I started off the week deep cleaning the home, going into places that usually don't get cleaned on a regular basis because they're not commonly used, or areas that aren't typically used. But I vacuumed everything. I even threw the couch cushions into the washer and dryer. I pulled out the cabinet behind the couch. Let me know what you guys think, actually, because I thought it looked a little empty when I pulled it out, but we do plan to sell it and get rid of that because that came from the old apartment when we didn't have much space. So we bought that to put our kitchen stuff in because we didn't have any drawers or shelving or anything at the apartment. It was like really small. But now that we have all this space, put everything in the cabinets, and I don't think that we necessarily need it anymore. And maybe we'll put like shelving for the plants and stuff. But I did think it looked a little empty, but maybe it's because there's nothing there yet. I am a personal believer in a clean environment, clear mind. So when things again are visually cluttered in front of you, I think in your mind it can be easy to feel cluttered as well. It's the energy in the air. But yeah, it just felt really nice, and it felt like a brand new home. It felt like we had just moved in all over again, and I was reminded of why I fell in love with this house in the first place, like the layout of things, how grateful I am to have such a big kitchen, which again is the reason why I chose this layout. Sometimes when you look at social media, you can find yourself comparing to other people in their homes and things like that. Because I've been in debt, I can't really afford to spend money on like making it look the way that I want it to look in my head. I know I'll get to that point eventually when I'm financially like in the place to do so. I've come to terms with that. But for a minute there, I did lose sight of like how grateful I am to have such a beautiful home, like 2,050 square feet of a home office, a gym. Like, I'm so grateful, and just taking the time to connect with the home allowed me to reconnect back to that feeling. So yeah, that felt really nice. That happened on Tuesday, which is the next day. Peter worked the entire day, so I didn't really get to see him much until later that night. But I was texting my friends and my family and like just wishing each other a new year. And it's just so nice to have friends that are Vietnamese, and then we can connect on that. So that made me happy. I've also been prioritizing working on my app and like posting about it. The only reason I stopped doing that was because work had taken all my energy from me, and I didn't have the energy to show up on camera, which is perfectly okay. I'm content with that. Hopefully everyone else watching understands. But I was happy to share my update on everything and got really good feedback. I've also just really loved connecting with other people who are building an app and sharing our moments of like mistakes that we made or lessons that we're learning. And then I had this phone call with my mom. Typically, I get very hesitant. I used to feel like my chest tighten every time I would see my mom call, and my mom doesn't watch my videos, so I can say whatever. But even if she did, I would say this to her face now because I feel comfortable enough to say it. Whereas I used to feel like I couldn't say anything, but now that I am living in my like full authentic self, I've been able to have more conversations with my mom openly and express myself and not take the things that she says back to me personally, because I understand that her thoughts and feelings are valid as they are, because they are a perception of her own lived experience, same as myself. And that made me really happy because I love my mom so much, and I want to have a very strong, healthy relationship with her and talk to her. I've always wanted that. That's what I want for my kids too, is for them to be able to open up to me. We can be friends. Like, I'm going to be your mom, but at the same time, I want to be your friend. I want to be someone who you can trust and open up to and feel comfortable doing so. And I could feel myself growing in that moment, and that made me really happy because I was able to like navigate the conversation really well without any sort of bias or opinions towards my brother. I actually helped her see his perspective on the situation instead of just joining in, which I would have done in the past because I didn't understand my brother. I still don't understand him because we don't talk. But I understand now that he has his own perceptions of our childhood, and we went through different childhoods. Even if we lived together, our experiences were different, and that goes for every sibling relationship. Everyone is going through their own journey in life and how they see things and how they interpret things and perceive. That's been one of the biggest challenges for me to overcome, is that feeling with my family, because I love them so dearly, but I don't know how to talk to them or connect with them. And there's nothing that I want more than that. It's like making me emotional thinking about it. And in the past, I would have broke down crying. But yeah, even in this moment, I can feel myself like I've healed from those traumas and I can talk about it more openly. And so I hope if anyone's watching this and felt that way before, I hope the same for you too. Friday was a very pivotal moment for me because I got a calendar notification on my phone for February 20th, and it said everything shifted. And this is from when I was doing the Quantum Leap Challenge with Kim. The Quantum Leap Challenge is a 21-day challenge that I did to step more into my highest self and connect to myself spiritually, because I felt very disconnected last year. And I did it like 4 times last year. And you're leaping into a new timeline of yourself. You're not erasing, let me take that back. You're letting go of the past version of yourself so you can step into a version of yourself that you want. On the last day of the challenge, you put in your calendar 3 months from now, everything shifted. And I really do feel like everything shifted. I've grown more in the past year than I have in the other 25 years of my life, because I wasn't ever this intentional about it. I wasn't as connected to myself as I am today, and I'm so grateful for that. What is just so funny? I'm so happy for you. I'm so grateful for you too. I've also adjusted my morning routine a little bit because I want to start creating and writing more this year. Definitely creating more than consuming, which I've done a good job at not consuming as much as of last year. I could get into this, but I have like focus modes on my phone and screen limits and stuff like that, which I can make a whole nother video talking about, because it's helped me with my productivity, with just being present in life so much, and just not feeling as much comparison in my life, because I'm constantly, when you're on social media and consuming, you're taking in someone else's energy instead of operating from your own. So yeah, creating and writing is something that I want to do a lot more, and I actually wrote on LinkedIn. It felt really good to do. Last year when I was like, I want to post on LinkedIn more, I would get stuck on, I don't know what to write. And again, that's because I was consuming so much. But now that I stopped doing that, my creativity is back, and everything that I wrote is in my words, and I don't go to AI anymore and ask, what should I write about, or help me revise this. Like, it's all my written word. And I think that's going to be so important in going forward in this very AI future. It's just connecting back to humanity again. That's something I'm very passionate about. I had this call with the recruiter and it went really well. The reason why it made me happy is because I showed up as myself without any like desperate energy, which I had when I was job searching. And I totally understand that feeling of I need a job, but now I can shift to I don't need the job, but if it aligns with me and who I am for what I am at this current moment, then I'll be happy to consider it. Yeah, our conversation went really well because I had good energy and he had good energy, and so in total, like, it's just good energy conversation. And that's the whole reason why I got hired at this job, is because I showed up with good energy. That's exactly what my manager said, is you just had really good energy. When I did that interview, I had let go of any expectations I had. When I went into the call, I wasn't like, I need this job. It was more, even though I financially needed the job, in my mind, I was like, it's okay if this doesn't work out. Whatever is meant for me really will be for me. And when I finally trusted myself, trusted in the universe to give me what it is that I need or am ready for at that time, that's when things align for me. Yeah, just energy is everything. Now for the moments where I was unhappy or not really myself, I do wish I had celebrated that with friends and family instead of working. So going forward, I'm not going to work on that anymore. I'm just going to take off for the holiday because why not? Yeah, that's really all there is to it. I'm just not going to do that anymore because it didn't make me happy. My money tree has been losing leaves, and I don't know if this is something I need to just accept as part of the natural cycle for plants. It is normal. Trees lose their leaves in the fall. Maybe it's just part of a new cycle. I have noticed that with my orchids, they die and then they bloom again. So I think I just need to stop overthinking it. I honestly had a really good week, so there's not very many moments where I didn't feel good. I would say there was 2 days out of this week where I ate lunch an hour late because I was working and I was like, I need to get this PR in and wait for the build and all this stuff. So yeah, definitely it wasn't a priority. Those things don't matter more than my health, and I'm going to stick to my alarms that I have. I'd probably set an extra alarm so I can make sure that it doesn't happen again. As far as sleep goes, I'm not getting my amount of sleep that I would like. Me and Peter found a really good K-drama and we ended up watching one episode too much. So we went to bed at 11 instead of 10, which is completely in our control, right? We chose to do that, or I chose to do that. I don't regret it because he's been getting home really late and that's really our only time to hang out together and do something that we love together. But I do really care about my sleep quality, and that is one of my goals, is to average 7 hours of sleep a night. So I will not be doing that going forward. And then also his friend has been here, so we went out to eat late last night on Wednesday, so we didn't get home till 11, and obviously went to bed late there too. These are things I'm not really worried about because they only happen once every time someone comes to visit us, and my mindset there is to just be present and cherish like the moments that we do have together and not be so rigid to my routine and my rituals. I actually take that back. I'm actually happy and proud of myself for not being so rigid, and discipline is important, but I think the discipline to be flexible is also very important. I really enjoy doing these because it allows me to speak my thoughts out loud, and it's helping me grow as a person in terms of my communication. As someone who didn't really talk much my whole life, everyone said I was shy. It's not because I was shy, it's because I didn't feel comfortable talking. And honestly, it's a skill, right? Being able to talk. And because it's something that I never didn't have anyone to talk to, that was definitely in my control. Like I could have just talked to myself, but it's nice to have someone to talk to. I am talking to myself right now. Anyway, I really enjoy doing these, and I hope that anyone watching enjoys them too. If there's anything that you want me to talk about, I'm more than happy to do. I feel like I'm an open book. I am very happy and comfortable with sharing a lot of my life because it makes me happy that I can talk about it freely now. Whereas before, I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like insecure talking about certain things like money and even just family. Coda, do you want to say bye? Do you want to say bye to everyone? Are you sleeping? Here, let's say bye. Okay. Oh. Bye. Bye.